You know, sometimes the mind is like a scientist who's forgotten it's also a poet. It measures things, labels them, dissects them, but forgets to listen. And beneath all that noise, all those calculations and conditions and shoulds, there's a deeper rhythm, a pulse, the original self, quietly humming. I already know. That's what this is about. The core transformation isn't about fixing what's broken. It's about remembering what you thought was broken was actually just miscommunicated love. A part of you doing its absolute best to keep you safe, in the only way it knew how. Imagine a guard dog barking at every sound, alert, anxious, defensive. You could punish the dog for barking, or you could kneel beside it and whisper, "Hey, thank you for keeping me safe all these years. You did your job perfectly." And in that moment, the growling softens, the eyes change, and something ancient exhales in relief. That's the first step of transformation, not domination, not suppression, but dialogue. The science is simple. When safety is acknowledged, the brain shifts from amygdala to prefrontal cortex. Fear melts into learning. Reaction becomes reflection. Survival becomes evolution. The layers beneath. Every anger is fear. Every fear is a need. Every need is a longing for connection. And every connection is a movement toward wholeness. When you trace the problem backward, from frustration to sadness, from sadness to loneliness, from loneliness to the simple wish to be loved or understood, you find the problem was just love in disguise. The same energy, misdirected, disguised, misunderstood, but pure in its essence. And when you stop fighting the surface and start listening to the message beneath it, you begin to change the entire language of your mind. The way a child stops crying the moment someone truly listens. Not to fix, not to argue, but to hold. Neuroscience tells us attention rewires reality. Whatever you observe without judgment begins to reorganize itself. Quantum physics whispers the same thing. The observer collapses the wave into form. So when you focus on your problems with curiosity instead of condemnation, you're literally altering neural pathways. You're teaching your brain. This emotion is safe to feel. This information is not danger. And that's how transformation starts, with acceptance. That doesn't mean agreement, but understanding. Because your soul doesn't grow by force. It expands by integration. So here's the truth smack version. Stop running from your own feelings. Every time you suppress an emotion, you're saying, "I don't trust myself to survive my own depth." And that's a lie. You're built for depth. You're designed for transformation. You think enlightenment is some ethereal peace. It's not. It's radical honesty with what is. It's meeting every dark corner of yourself and saying, "Come here. You belong too." That's the core of transformation. The part of you that was fighting, you integrated. And suddenly, it fights for you, not against you. A 5-year-old version of you already does this instinctively. You feel something yucky. You ask, "What do I want instead?" You imagine that instead and feel better. That's it. That's the neural blueprint for core transformation. The adult complicates it with words like shadow work or trauma processing. But your inner child just knows. Feelings are signals, and every feeling, when followed, leads you back to something softer, truer. Follow this path, and your life shifts quietly, almost embarrassingly easily. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop needing people to approve of your growth, because your worth no longer depends on their comfort. Ignore it. The world keeps mirroring your ignored emotions. People will trigger you until you finally listen. Life will repeat the lessons until the lesson becomes love. That's karma, not punishment, but pattern recognition. Cause and effect, action and consequence, until awareness breaks the loop. Every time you integrate a part of yourself, you reclaim energy. That's not just psychology, it's physics, conservation of energy. What you resist consumes power. What you embrace returns it. So when you meet your fear with compassion, your shame with curiosity, your doubt with patience, you're literally reclaiming watts of consciousness that were trapped in resistance. You become lighter, faster, clearer, like a superconductor of awareness. And maybe right now, as you listen, your unconscious begins to weave connections between the guard dog, the scientist, the child, the quantum observer, the soul. Each a part of you, learning the same lesson in a different language. And maybe your deeper mind is already experimenting, trying on these beliefs like new neural clothes. Every problem is a part of me trying to help. My emotions are guidance, not enemies. Transformation is what happens when understanding replaces judgment. Love is what's left when defense dissolves. And as those sentences echo and re-echo in the deeper layers of your mind, they begin to feel obvious, like something you've always known, but only just remembered. So here's the takeaway. You don't fix the darkness, you illuminate it. And it remembers it was light all along. You don't fight fear, you listen. And it remembers it was protection. You don't chase transformation, you relax into it. And it reveals itself as the natural state of being. The mind heals when it stops pretending it's separate from the head. The heart strengthens when it remembers it's the engine of intelligence. And as you walk through your life from now on, you may just notice every challenge is a doorway back home.